Hello, welcome team. Friday Live. Yes, I was having a little sing song there to myself. And I'm in a bit normal clothing, but not for long. I tried to get out of gym stuff in between clients, so I had a few hours where I could just wear normal clothing, but I need to shoot off after this and get back to the lycra because I got more clients and classes to do. How's your Friday going? I mean, the weather, right? I would like to say that I'm someone who's like, we need the rain's good, but even I'm like, seriously, it's still raining, like what? But yeah, let me know how you're doing. I know the vibe amongst many people is a bit low right now, low energy, low vibe. They're just like, can December just be over? Which I fully appreciate. 3 weeks today, Christmas will all be over, and I've got a dentist checkup. So that's what I was just looking at beforehand. So if you're not a fan of Christmas, it'll be soon be over. All right, today I want to cover off why women need to choose strong. It's something I am a big believer in. And I'm a big believer in it, not because I want to be one of these bikini models. And for me personally, that's not my vibe. That's not my ever been my desire. I personally don't find it attractive. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the regimes that you have to do to get there in terms of the extreme restriction of food and the extreme training they do. So there's a lot that goes into doing that stuff. And it's just not my bag, not my thing. But obviously, I still appreciate strength training and the importance of it for our health and aging well. So I wanted to cover up a bit today about why it's important, because you might be like, yeah, Julie, whatever. But I think people say, oh, I don't know what to do. Often we're scared of the weights, but there's so much you can do with your body, right? You don't need to add in weights. You add in weights as you progress. So weights are a progression, but there's a lot you can do around strength training your body. Push-ups being an example, right? Push-ups, your core strength, doing a plank hold. There's lots of things, lunge holds, squats, all these things are strength. And then you add a weight in to add load just as these adapt, as your body adapt and you find them easier. So I wanted to cover off the reason why you should be choosing strong as a female, because I think we get to the point of, perimenopause, menopause, kind of mid, late 40s, early 50s, 60s, 70s, and you can just give up, right? Go, I'm just going to let the middle age spread happen. Oh, my joints ache, this ache, that hurts, but that's how it is. Aging is rubbish. And it's actually looking at your overall health and going, well, it doesn't need to be that way. And there's still things you can do. And if you've got ailments, comorbidities, different illnesses, ailments going on, you can still train around those. You don't have to stop because of those, as proven by many of my clients who have a lot of stuff going on, and their health is really improved through following a meal plan, through exercising, losing the excess weight, and the difference that's making to their quality of life. And that's what strength training can do for you too. It can make a difference to your quality of life. So let's get into the benefits. So often when a lot of females come to work with me, they'll say they want to tone the body. And we say that because that's what we hear from elsewhere, right? Because I used to hear that too. I know when I first went into gym and a PT asked me, what do you want to do? I was like, tone the body. I didn't actually really know what I wanted to do, but I just knew I wanted to be fitter than I was, and I didn't really know what that means. But ultimately, toning the body is building muscle. So toning the body is about building muscle in order to get the shape and definition. And this is where you might be like, oh, don't want to look like a man. Honestly, it's not going to happen. Physiologically, it can't happen. I mean, these bikini models, yes, they look bulky and muscly, but they're still not to the same extent as men. And when they are doing these things, as I said, extreme diets, extreme, training as well. So it's not going to happen to you unless you want to compete at that level for a competition. So please do not use that as an excuse. Let's be honest, team, as an excuse for you not doing strength training. So first up, if you want to tone your bum or your bingo wings or whatever it might be, your back and shoulders, then strength training is super important in order to do that. So your number one benefit is to improve your muscle strength and tone, so ultimately building muscle to tone and shape your body. Another bit I often talk about with clients is about your metabolism. So muscles are more hungry than fat. Okay, so muscles burn more calories than what fat does when it's rested. So increasing muscle strength and increasing your muscles it will actually allow you to burn more calories. So if you think of muscles as being calorie hungry, so the more muscle you have, the more calorie hungry they are, which is why I'm always on about protein, which is why I eat all the time. So it's that whole thing about it will aid you in weight management, healthy weight management, weight loss by focusing on building muscle, because then it's needing more calories. So that's number 2, boosting your metabolism by building calorie hungry muscles. Number 3, around bone health. Now, this was the reason I got into strength training. After I broke my leg and ankle, it was a PT that said to me, "Oh, Julie, have you ever tried grit strength? And it'd be good for kind of building your muscle strength." No doctors had ever mentioned this. And so then I got into training by building through that. So I started off with the grit strength, which was horrendous to begin with, but as you guys all know, now I totally love it. I'm addicted to it. And you might have seen earlier, I do a mixture. So I do a mixture of fast weight training, which is like, grit, doing lots of stuff very quickly, still having a technique though. And then earlier today, I was training my slow twitch muscles, which is slowing it down, which is like your 3, 2, 1 pace, slowing it down, or your 2 down, 1 up pace. So the different ways of training with weights as well. But ultimately, it's about building different resistance through different ways of body weight, using weights, time under tension, all that great stuff. And basically it helps us to maintain or increase our bone density, because what happens, our bones are building blocks. So constantly there's bits that are coming off and there's bits that are rebuilding. It's like regenerating. Your bones basically regenerate. But as females, as we go through perimenopause, menopause, the regeneration doesn't happen at the same pace, but the degradation does still happen. So your bone is stripping off, but the regeneration isn't repairing and isn't happening as quickly. So by doing weight training, you're actually encouraging that process to happen, which then reduces the risk of osteoporosis, which is huge for females, and fractures, and it's super important for females as we age. So if we're talking about bone health, you want to be doing strength training. And that's not to say, again, that you have to go super heavy. Remember what I said at the start, you can do body weight and then add the load, add the weight in. And then we talked about building muscles. We talked about bone strength. Also think about your joints. So your joints support everything. They support your muscles. They support your bones. It's all linked, right? Nothing is in its isolation. And I think we forget of our bodies that everything works together. So many things, especially in physio, might be like treating that one arm rather than treating the other arm, and any imbalances. And it's that thing about everything works together. And often we forget that. So strengthening the muscles around the joints will provide us with better support and stability and help prevent injuries, conditions like arthritis too. So it'll help improve your joint health too. Now, number 5, functional fitness is something I am so passionate about. So some people are like, oh, functional fitness is a bit of a woo-woo term. But for me, it's not. It's about being able to do all the moves. I never just train one way. I train lots of different ways because I believe in whole body training. And whenever clients train with me, we train whole body. Yes, we work around injuries, niggles, ailments, energy that day, but ultimately we're doing whole body functional training. And what that means is it allows you to perform everyday tasks, such as carrying your shopping, picking up your kids, lifting the grandkids, your nieces, nephews, whatever it may be. It's all about functional training to allow you to do whatever it is you want to do on a daily basis. You go on a holiday, you've got to pick your suitcase up, then you can do that. You can lift a heavy shopping bag in the house. You guys know I just moved house. Oh my God, there was so much benefits from my functional training, from lifting, carrying boxes, heavy boxes, reaching up, putting things down. I was clocking up like 15,000 steps purely from doing functional training, everyday stuff, such as lifting boxes, putting stuff down, hammering stuff in walls, lifting furniture. So it's really about thinking about that independence to be able to do those things. I've been there when I broke my leg and ankle, and it was crap having to rely on other people to do stuff. Absolutely rubbish. Bear in mind, my health wasn't where it's at now. I'm healthier and stronger than I've ever been. Back then, I wasn't. I was in this health state, 18 plus size, never been to a gym, and I was not in a good place. So I have experienced what it's like not to have your functional fitness. So being able to do things day to day. And people take it for granted. Like, so right now, if you're sitting in a chair, are you going to use the arms to get out your chair? Or are you going to stand up without using the arms? Because that is a key indicator, right? So not using your arms to get out, you're going to be using your legs. So push through your heels to stand up and back down. Can you do that easily, or are you actually relying on the arms of your chair? So things like that are all functional, everyday things of being able to move your body, get yourself up and off the floor as well. Can you do that? It's also a factor in aging well, because it's known, people stoop over as they get older, their posture goes, and then if they fall on the floor, they're stuck there. They can't get themselves up because they don't have the strength. So are you able to get yourself up and down to the floor and get out your chair without pushing down? Are you able to lift and carry your shopping? All those things that we take for granted probably right now, but once your strength starts to diminish, if you're not using it, you lose it. If you're not training it, you'll struggle more and more, so you might stop doing those things, and it's that knock-on effect. So ultimately, the big passion for me is about your functional fitness to allow you to do all the things you want to do daily, and just as life. But then think about things you want to do to have fun, right? So you might want to go and hang off the monkey bars with the nieces and nephews. You might go and go running after them. What are all the things you want to do that means quality of life for you, and making sure that we're training around that to ensure you can live the best life. And I mentioned, so moving on to the next one, I mentioned about perimenopause and bone health. The other thing around perimenopause is obviously we use our muscle bank. So our muscle bank is all the muscle we've built up over the years. It's just like a savings account. And you can start working on and building your muscle bank at any time. But during perimenopause, menopause, it is harder for us to build and lay down muscle. It is harder. So it's that whole thing about building your muscle bank, getting started now, is super important as we go through the menopause, because muscle bank becomes harder to lay down. So you might hear people say, especially guys, complaining about, I used to do a few moves and now I do a few moves and I can't even see my muscles. And people talk about recovery, right? So like Arnie was talking about the fact that he used to do like this big training set, and now he can't do that. He's got to split it up. Even like Fred said, he was saying about like the recovery period and how he's had to train has changed because his muscles just take that bit longer to recover. So it's that thing about building your muscle back now before you go through perimenopause, menopause. And if you have gone through those things, that doesn't mean you're a lost cause. You can still work on your strength training in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s. The important thing is that we don't lose it and we keep doing it. Okay, and it can also be shown as well to help regulate hormones such as estrogen, especially as we're going through our menopause and we lose our estrogen and our hormones start to go, which can impact our joint health as well. So it's really thinking about that hormonal control, thinking about muscle bank and how all these things work together. Alrighty, so I've mentioned about, daily activities, hormone health, bone strength, shaping and toning the body, how important it is everything working together, the muscles, the joints, the bones, allowing you to do what you want to do, which is going to impact your mental health too, right? And I've mentioned about muscles being calorie hungry, so that bit about weight management in terms of being able to maintain a healthy weight and lose weight as well. And you're not always going to be losing weight. There'll be a point where you will maintain a healthy weight, but it's that thing about muscles will help contribute to that. And within that, we often forget that we talk about building muscle, we forget about heart health. Like heart is a muscle too. And heart issues are actually the number one killer of females, the number one cause of death. And we don't really talk about it. Breast cancer is like third, whereas 1 and 2 are heart-related conditions. So we often forget about, actually, we need to build and look after this heart muscle. Well, not build it through steroids. that's not a good thing. But I'm talking about building it in terms of your cardio activity. So we often think cardio to burn calories. But if we think muscle to burn calories, and then if we think cardio for heart health, that is super, super important. And it doesn't have to be running. You guys know I hate running, so it doesn't need to be running. Cardio health can be walking at a pace, okay? Cardio health can be light jog. Cardio health can be cycling. Anything that basically gets you a little bit out of puff. And there'll be some moves that you'll see on my reels, like the halo slam, right? Taking it around, slamming it down. It's a move for the core, but you get a cardio hit too. Right, so there's lots of things that you can do to actually work your cardio health, and like say really work on your heart muscle, because that's something as females that's neglected. So that's another benefit. I'm going to call that strength training too, because we're working muscles. Strength training is about muscle, and cardio works a heart muscle. I mentioned about mental health, and there's been research and correlation between strength training and mental health. And there's been loads of research that actually show that people who maybe suffer from depression, anxiety, super benefit from actually doing strength training with weights. In terms of, I think, the release of the hormones. And maybe it's that thing, if you've not got energy, if you're feeling in a shitty place, the last thing you want to do is go run and jump about, right? But actually being able to lift a weight doesn't demand too much in terms of that motivation side, right? That motivation side isn't, don't get me wrong, you still got to go to the gym, you still got to lift weights, or if you're like me, you've got gym weights at home, then you can lift them at home. But some days I can't be bothered doing it either. So, and some days I will go for, actually, I don't want to do a grit, I don't want to do a high intensity, I'm going to lift some weights instead, because then I'll still get my workout in. So yeah, enhanced mental health around depression, anxiety has been proven with strength training too. And if you are from perimenopause, menopause, or everyday monthly hormones, there's fluctuations in your mood. That is absolutely normal. That is hormones for you. But doing things like strength training can help lift your mood and help you feel good and positive about yourself. So it's another really powerful reason to do it. And overall, in terms of the whole mental side, if you think about empowerment and confidence. So yesterday I showed a clip of me doing kettlebell swings, and I said this is the number one exercise. All my clients absolutely love kettlebell swings. And as I said, choose a weight that challenges you, but you still got control, because the kettlebell swing is whole body workout, right? You're working your legs, your back, your shoulders, the heart health, as I just mentioned. And you can feel quite powerful in it and quite confident in it. You know, it's a swinging motion. It doesn't feel too onerous until you get to 45 seconds, but it feels like you're in control and you're flinging this weight around, like almost as if it doesn't feel like any weight at all, and powerful. So strength training can just help improve your confidence and improve just how you feel about yourself and your body as well. Because when you see yourself losing weight, your body's getting shaped and toned, you see yourself being able to go to weights, increasing the weight, you're feeling powerful and confident, it makes you feel good. And you know you're looking after your bone health, your joint health, you know you're looking after your hormones and building your muscle bank to age well. Why else? I mean, what else would you need to be confident about? Like, do you know, the whole bag is an all-rounder of all these benefits it gives you. And obviously within that, I mentioned, you know, with heart disease, but it can also help with like type 2 diabetes, prevention of cancers, because as we know, being overweight is a bit of a flag for cancer, as is many things such as inactivity. So they kind of go hand in hand. People who tend to be overweight tend to be inactive, and it's that cycle of the different things which can then lead to, unfortunately, a diagnosis around heart conditions and cancer and so forth. So there's so many benefits to strength training. I think I have lost count of how many I gave you there. Absolutely lost count. But ultimately, it's about strength training is available to everybody. It's available to every woman, and it's just about tailoring it to you. And if you've tried it in the past and you've had the fear, or you maybe got an injury somehow, don't let that put you off, because you can still train around niggles, you can train around injuries, you can train around where you're at, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced. It's all about adapting the training to you. And I always say, if you are working with somebody, and because I used to have this challenge, and they're putting more and more weight on and you don't feel good about that, you don't feel like you're in control or it's hurting your back or whatever, tell them that. And if they still don't respond to that, then maybe look at getting yourself a different trainer, because you are the expert in your body. So it's about working within your limits of where you are and recognizing that. But also, yes, you want to push yourself, but not to the point that you feel like you're not in control of the weight. And as I always say, technique over weight and load. All right, team. So that's so many benefits around why, as a female, you should choose weight training, strength training. It makes a world of difference to your mood, your bone health, your heart health, your shape and tone of your body, weight management, weight loss, mental health, and anyone can do it. Anyone can, and it can be absolutely tailored to you regardless of what you've got going on. And like I say, start body weight and then add weight. And if you're struggling to know where to start, just DM me, like, strong. Yeah, DM me strong. I was like, what was the word to put in again? Yeah, it was strong. DM me strong, and I'll send you my free ebook. Yeah, I can't even speak anymore. DM me the word strong, and I'll send you my free ebook on strength training to help get you kicked off, get you started. And any questions, you know where it's at. Just come, give me a shout out. All right, I'm going to go and get ready for my next client and my final class for the evening. But enjoy your weekend. And remember, you don't have to go all in on the Christmas stuff. Don't feel like you have to have the drinks you don't want to have, the beige foods you don't want to eat, and it's going to make you feel crappy. Think about what you can do in between the social commitments this weekend to give self-care to yourself, look after yourself. And remember, it's not complicated. Just choose protein and veg, and make sure you stay hydrated. All right, team, take care. Speak soon.